Yes.
We have a
I think
problem because
Okay.
they didn't have available free rooms
Okay.
for us to talk, so I have no idea.
We
That's the
will-
only place we found.
Okay.
We have one room reserved for our meeting, but they are actually working now.
Yeah, sure.
So,
So no problem. We will always find a solution. I always have solutions. For case we could do it here, but maybe there is a breakfast room or something, and we can take a corner. No. Okay.
it's closed during the day. So.
Okay. Maybe they can open it.
We asked and they
Yes, so excited. We are now in Valencia and we are here at the interview we planned with Swapper, P2P platform. And on my side right now, Iveta, CEO of Wando Finance Group. This is the holding of Swapper, and platform lead Dania. Right spelling, I think. Yeah, Dania.
That's good.
And you are also the lead of the P2P platform Swapper. And thank you for your time. Really excited and looking forward to the interview and the questions. Alex, I think you already know from other interviews. Of course, I will put you the playlist of the whole trip with the vlogs as well as the interviews in the description. So check this out and let's start with the first question. First question, of course, how do we begin? I think it would be nice for the viewers, they don't know you, they have seen the last interview I did in the Riga office, yeah? But now it's new faces, so maybe you can just introduce yourself a bit, and also Tanya, maybe you introduce yourself a bit, and so, how you came to the group and so on.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so probably we should start with the Wando Finance Group. We started our operations 3 years ago. And one of the projects was also peer-to-peer platform Swapper. We operate in 4 countries at this moment: Spain, Poland, Russia, Denmark. We used to have Georgian market as well, but as you probably know, most part of the companies left the market. So yes, we are issuing loans in 4 countries. Most part of them are payday loans, but we have also 4-month product in Denmark. Dania actually is with us from the first day of when the Swapper platform was launched. She started as a customer relationship manager, working with the customers mostly. Yes, and previous time when we met, you had an interview with Peter, who was the lead of the Swapper platform at that time. And he was closely working with Dania, and basically it was so logical for her to replace him, so that's what happened basically.
I see. And what happened to Peteris?
Well, Peteris decided to change the industry. He was working for quite a long time in the loan companies, and he took another challenge in another area. So unfortunately, because we missed him a lot, and we felt the change, of course.
Okay, thank you. I understand. And maybe we continue with the platform Swapper, which offers the loans. Which kind of loans do you offer right now?
So most part of the loans comes from Poland, since it's our biggest market, and Spain and Denmark as well. We don't put Russian loans on the platform, so it's just they are stay in Russia. If we talk about platform, all loans are with the same interest rate, 12%. For the loyal customers who have invested more than 5,000 euros, we offer additional bonus of plus 2% additionally to the interest. All loans comes with a buyback guarantee, so those conditions haven't changed from day one. They are the same as they was like 3 years ago. What else?
Yeah, maybe I just can say something about this. There is a special offer right now for the 14%, I think, in the first 3 months. I heard something about it. Is it still valid or not?
Yes, it's valid. During the September, we launched the campaign with the target circle. Since we have amounts of volumes of loans that we are offering on the platform is growing, so we started to attract additionally also investors. We launched the target circle campaign, and yes, for the September, until the end of September, we are offering all investors to register and have this 14% interest for a 3 month, and after 3 months, system will check if account balance is
more than the 5,000.
More than 5,000, it's just gonna remain as it was. If it's gonna be below 5,000, the system will change it to the 12%.
Okay, understand. So I put the link in the description because I think the viewers have to be fast because now it's end of September.
Well, it is.
Yeah, so it's the last chance to have this extra 14%. And because I think this interest rate, and this is also the next connected point, is pretty okay because I get a lot of comments in my videos. Now the return is going down on other platforms, and you keep still this 12 and 14%, which is interesting for us as an investor.
Yes, we never had any campaigns or marketing campaigns working with affiliates before because for one simple reason we didn't have enough loan volumes to offer.
Yeah.
So we didn't have a need to attract more investors. That was useless. Sorry. So yeah, now since the volumes of loans are growing comparing to each previous month for at least 20%. We are attracting more customers. We might consider to have more campaigns with the special offers.
Okay,
so
super.
Maybe it's not
We
going to
will
be too
stay
late.
in touch as always, yeah, because I really enjoyed the good contact to the CEO. It's really was important. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, and as soon as there is something, I will post it so that people know. But at least if you invest more than 5,000, which makes at least sense, I think, to get a real return, then it's anyway the 14% royalty program. One connected question, just to go sure, you only offer in-house investment at the moment, so loans that is by Bando Finance Group?
Yes, and we are not planning to offer other loan originators.
Okay.
Well, for us, we feel, well, to be honest, I feel safe when I know what kind of loans I'm issuing. We know the risk rules in the countries that we have, we know the scoring and everything, I can check everything like that. So it's easy for us to understand what kind of loans we are offering on the platform, and it's easy to manage the risks. If we take traditional loan originators, I'm not sure I want to manage that. And,
okay, that's a very good point and very interesting also for us as an investor, also for diversification. They have sometimes this system and some others with loan originators. I think it makes sense just to diversify on this because this concept might be an important point, yeah? For sure. Yeah. You wanted to say something?
No, just.
Did I say something wrong?
No, just agreed with you.
So. Okay. You know, it's always difficult, camera and reading and thinking. It's not so easy. So sorry, guys, for that. If it's sometimes confused, but I think we will get some really interesting information. Just have to get back to these questions we have here. Okay, we already covered this. We already covered batteries. If you guys don't know what we are talking about, the last interview with batteries, I put it in the description because then you can connect to this last interview.
So probably about the recent news and the fact that the Swapper moved to Estonia.
Exactly, this will be the next question.
Yes, that was the most recent news that we had. And yes, since August 22nd was the last day of operations of Swapper in Latvia. So Swapper now is an Estonian company and all the business was moved to Estonia. One simple reason, you probably have heard about changes in regulation in Latvia. And until now, our regulator was planning to introduce a specific licensing for peer-to-peer marketplaces. And there was a law project, I guess, from 2016. Which was the law project, and it wasn't moving anywhere. So some while ago they decided that they won't be creating specific licensing. We just, if we want to continue work in Latvia, we have to get a banking license in Latvia or investment brokerage license. I think that could be the right translation. We consider that option. We had a conversation with the regulator. Of course, not the banking license, because if you are getting a banking license just in order to operate in the peer-to-peer marketplace, it's kind of nonsense because of the cost of administration of banking license and stuff like that. So we were considering investment brokerage license. But we realized that it's not going too good with our business model for one simple reason that most part of our investors are quite small investors, investing small amount of money, and we want our service to be, our platform to be available at any amount, so starting from 10 euros. And investment brokerage license, there was a huge part of it, or the requirement to qualify the previous experience of the investor, And if investor doesn't have a proven track record or experience in investment, we will have to reject them.
Okay.
So we were thinking a lot how to implement that in the business model, but we decided that it's not worth to do that. So that's why Swapper businesses moved to Estonia, whereas a lot of platforms are working there for many years, well, we didn't even have to change anything in our conditions. We just took everything as it was, and it was moved to Estonia. So.
Okay. Very interesting. Thank you for that. And maybe two connected questions. First, the office will stay in Riga.
Bandu Finance Group office is still in Riga. You can come again. We will be
Just
happy to
that.
see you.
Yeah, always appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will be back definitely. Yeah.
Great.
And the next connected question: are you pretty sure that there will not be a regulation like that in Estonia?
We don't mind to be regulated. Don't get me wrong, because
no, but a regulation like this with the same brokerage license.
No, we are not sure. We are not sure, but well. Actually, we are thinking to get a banking license. We are working on that for quite a while. It takes quite a lot of time, and we want to offer more financial services for the investors, like bank accounts, credit cards.
Very interesting. I like that.
Yes, we also really like the direction, but we wasn't planning to gather the license in Latvia. So even if the regulation comes in Estonia, hopefully at that point we will be closer to gathering the banking license.
Okay,
so
I see.
that's kind of temporary solution for us before we move to the next step.
Because it's maybe just not very easy, but for me as an investor, a main part of my income comes from P2P. That's the truth. Yeah? From different platforms. Yeah? So if there is no P2P, I have really a problem. Yeah? And for me as an investor, it's just easy. If you have maybe the banking card from Swapper, I will get one from Mintos in the next months.
Like the idea.
I like the idea very much. Yeah, but also there are different opinions on everything. I know that. Yeah, also from the investors. Yeah, but I like this idea very much for me personally as an investor, and I do it very authentic. These videos, you know that, because it's from myself that I need this, and. Would be just easy to have this banking card and go and pay with it, and the return just I make leave 200 euro on the account, or maybe 500 euro on the account, and then
it's still working.
Still working all the time, and everything else is just additional investment and compounding. Okay, great. Then to the next question: is Swapper making profit or losses?
Platform as it is making profit this year.
Okay.
But it's the first year of profit.
Okay.
We launched the platform in October 2016. So first full year was 2017. It was quite hard year for us. Last year was better, and now Swapper is earning. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I'm one of the very first investors, I think, on the platform. I know this beginning. Yeah. Okay, great, and also the new design and everything. Yeah, but it's really great developing. Great development. The Bandu Finance Group, the holding, you're the CEO, is it profitable or making losses?
It should be profitable this year, but it will be the first year. So first full year for Bandu Finance Holding as well was 2017, and it seems that we will be in profit this year. So.
Okay, very good. And is there some financial report? I think you're better on that point. We can see something like that.
Sorry, what?
So
that's your question.
One question would be about annual reporting and whether those are published, easily accessible, and are audited by an auditing company.
They are not public yet. As I mentioned already, 2017 was our first year. And it was also the first year when we got audited, and it took more time than we were planning.
Okay.
So we finished consolidated audit of 2017 on Friday last week.
Friday last week, all right.
We were audited by EY, Ernst & Young. Yes, it took much more time. They wasn't planning to spend with us so much time, so we had to adjust to their schedule, which is very busy. So it took much more time than we were planning. We already started the audits of 2019. It should be finished hopefully until the end of October, so within 1 month.
Yeah.
And we are planning to publish financial statements. I'm not sure when. We have to get back to the schedule of submitting the year statements.
Yeah.
Probably 2017 is not the year that we will be publishing. It was our first year, and there's not much to see even in general. So as soon as we finish 2018, we will inform all the investors for sure, because we have a lot of questions regarding that.
Yeah, and the 2019 report, will it be published earlier? Because you were talking that the 2018 will be published in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Will it be published maybe in June and May, maybe already? Are you having a schedule for that?
Not
so
yet.
investors stay up to date? Not yet, okay.
Because we need to finish 2018, and only then we can agree with the auditors about the next schedule when we start to audit 2019. So
All right.
not yet.
All right.
Okay, great. Already prepared the next questions from the community, and there was Angelo asking the same question. We already covered this in this answer, but another question is from Bastian, a friend of mine and follower on YouTube. He's asking, the platform is currently making a lot of advertising. We already covered this. Will the lending volume rise so as to provide all investors with loans, and will interest rates remain at that level? Is his question.
So we have the same interest rate from day one. It hasn't been changed. Not planning to change it. We still can afford it, and we don't see any reason to make any changes. And that was one of our goals, not to be as not to do as many other platforms are doing, adjusting to some conditions. We want to be stable and clear at least. So yes.
Very good. Perfect. I think this is covered.
Volumes are
the
growing,
volume,
so we started to make some marketing activities. Before that, to be honest, no, we were participating mostly some conferences to meet our actual investors, and nothing else, not that much. Well, we actually have 2 awards this year. One is from, remind me, Banking
Check the
Germany.
We received it in the June. That's why we didn't went to the peer-to-peer conference.
Exactly,
It was in the
talking about
same
this,
time, so I was in Berlin receiving that award, and in late July, August, we received an award from Wealth and Finance. Also, best peer-to-peer platform in 2019.
But perfect. Congratulations. And next year we will be at the P2P
no
conference.
and awards. So.
That's
It
perfect.
works somehow.
That's great. Great news. And next year we will be together at the P2P conference. And if you're interested in the P2P conference in Riga, I will put you the link for the tickets in the description, just to cover also this point. Because I know a lot of people from our community will join this P2P conference in Riga, and I already did the last one, and it's really, really a great time in the Baltics, to be honest. I love this area, especially in the summertime. Maybe now it's better here in Spain, in Valencia, at this time of the year, because I always need warm weather and sunshine, That's one of the advantages as investor, that it's possible to do this. Okay, so great. Second question from Bastian. I think that's also a very interesting one. The loans on the platform are mostly from Poland. The last insolvency, Eurocent, and problems of Forte came exactly from this market. The regulation is added, and how does Swapper protect the business? What are the default rates?
So, as concerns Polish market is the best market for us. It's the most profitable market for us. So, in terms of risk levels and default levels, don't see any problem regarding that. If we're talking about regulations, there are some law projects which would limit the interest cap.
Exactly.
But since it's basically the same as happened in Georgia. We used to have payday loan in Georgia. When interest cap was introduced, we changed the product to still fit the interest cap, and still found a way, of course, change the scoring systems, risk rules to still be profitable. We did it quite fast, within 2-3 weeks after the announcement of the new law. This time we have more time because in Poland there's a lot of discussion about it, and we have prepared 2 new products that we are planning to launch, which would fit any regulation that they will introduce. We have some understanding what it could be. This time we will be ready. We're not planning to leave the Polish market. It's too good to do that. We will switch to different products with a less risk level.
Okay.
And that's probably not going to impact investors. Same as Georgia, we left the market, but we bought back all the loans from the investors, and But in case of the Poland, we're not leaving the markets.
Yeah, but that would be a huge blow to your business at Wandu Finance.
Yes and no, because from one hand, currently, if we take the current situation, yes, it's our biggest market, but we are thinking to open new markets because our biggest risk in the loan business is, of course, risk of regulations.
Yeah.
So we also need to diversify our risks, and the way how to do that is to have more countries. In case if something happens with Poland now, we will have some other choices. It's going actually really good in Spain. That's the reason why we are here, and we are having management meeting in Spain with a lot of people from risk and finance and IT coming here from Riga. We have all country managers here, and we spending here already a week. And the reason why we have meeting in Spain, because Spain has great results lately, and we are actively increasing volumes lately. And we wanted for everyone to see how the work is organized in our Madrid office, what they actually have done to be so good. Because for the most loan companies here in Spain, it's quite a problematic market. For us, it's definitely not. We have a
definitely not. Interesting.
No.
Okay, that's cool.
No, we have a star country manager. Please don't steal him from us. So yes, that's the reason why we are here, to show everyone how he is organizing the work, how it's going, and that's probably the second strongest market in the nearest future for Wandu Finance Group.
Yeah.
And additionally, we're planning to open more countries, still making decision actually during this meeting about which countries we should choose. As soon as we will have some information, we will inform investors as well. So.
One additional question from my side, really personal interest. How do the Spanish people, for example, get the loans? Is there a website or is there an office around here from Wandu Finance where they go to get the loan? Or maybe you can tell me something just to cover the whole story from the beginning of the loan to the investor. How does it work?
So it's fully online product. Website is wandu.es. So customer applies there, we make identification of the customer, we check him in credit bureaus where we see the information about credit history. We have internal scoring solution, which is machine learning scoring and quite advanced, and it gives a huge impact on the results both in Spain and Poland. So we check the customer. We also have some additional sources of information that we can get about the customer. We make the decision, and then the money is paid out to the customer's card, which he enters upon the registration on our website. When prepayment term comes, he just needs to press the button to debit the same card, and that's it. No branches, no cash, no actual presence, only the website.
Okay, and the bad debt process, if it does not pay back, how does it work?
Most part of the collection process we do by ourselves. We have come to the conclusion that we do it a bit better than our external partners. So actually what we are doing in all countries at this moment, we are trying to extend the period and arranging more resources in terms of employees on our side to extend the period when we're working with the customer by ourselves. Of course, we give customer to external agencies as well, especially the ones that we can't contact because customer have shown the wrong contact information, and usually external agencies has more contact information about the specific customers because they're receiving this information from many companies. So yes, first 60 days we are working with the customer. Well, first 60 days of delay we are working with the customer by ourselves. Then his case usually is given to the external agency, and finally to court.
Okay, I understand. And then another question about the risk. I wrote down here, if for a case, we all hope it doesn't happen, but you never know, swapper goes bankrupt. How does the process work? What does it mean for the investor?
Well, an investor still would own the claim rights for the specific loan, and bankruptcy administrator would manage that process, and we have all the information about the customers, all that we have gathered. So that's more of a job of bankruptcy administrator, but I'm more than sure that's not going to happen.
I hope so too, of course, yeah. Okay, exactly. Then we already covered this question about the IBAN and the bank account. I think we spoke a lot about this. So maybe as the Estonian company one day. but we don't have a time frame yet for this.
Hard to say, because we have spent almost half of the year for preparation of the documents, procedures, business plan, and everything that is needed to actually submit the documentation. Usually the process when they have some first feedback could take up to 6 months, but how it goes we cannot predict it even, because it could be very easy and short, it could be longer. It also depends how many companies are applying at that moment for a specific license in a specific country. So.
But you're already trying to get there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes,
and
working.
Maybe it's 2020 or 2021 or
2021. Which one? I don't
approximately.
know.
We don't know. It's not. I mean, of course, we don't know yet, but just the idea. Okay, then Alex prepared some more questions. I think some of them we already covered right now because we did a little bit different order. But yeah.
Okay, so the first one of those questions would be, you in the recent months you increased loan volumes very much compared to the prior ones, and will you sustain this rate and those numbers? That would be the first part. And if investors now go on board with you because they see what now is there a lot of growth, will you be able to promise them that there will be no lack of loans to invest in the future, so their portfolio is always funded?
Well, we have been working very hard to get to the point when we know that we have managed all the risks in the countries. So we can easily grow the volumes without increasing our risk level. So that concerns as well the risk level of investor, of course. So yes, the growth is very steady at this moment. We are planning to keep it at least on the same level. That's the reason why we started marketing activities. Didn't have any need before. So the plan is to keep that growth. I don't think that something can change because even if I don't know, regulation comes in Poland, we have 2 new products ready. So that. Plus, there will be 6-month period when we will be obliged to switch. So it gives kind of a lot of time to adjust. So I don't think that could influence. In Spain, we are even more going to increase the volumes in upcoming weeks and months. So it should be theoretically even more. And we are thinking about the new countries. As concerns new countries, we're not going to be offering loans from day one, because usually when you open new country, all the bad customers runs to you, and we have to learn how to manage the risks in a new country. And as soon as we do, only then they will be represented on the platform as well. So
Good to know about
Did
that.
I answer your questions?
I think it went into the right direction, yes. And I have one question. Basically, it's about trust from the investor side. So I'm also invested in Swapper, and what I like about it, what differentiates it for me from any other peer-to-peer lending platform, the 12% or 14%, it always stayed the same. It never changed, and that really creates something investors like, no volatility in returns. But what doesn't create trust for me is that there is, from my perspective, not enough communication about updates. So on the One Do Finance blog, I think the last post was in 2018, and the blog on the main website for the investors, I think there are no recent posts whatsoever. How do you tackle this trust issue in that point?
So, as concerns communication with investors, we do have a newsletter once per month. If we have some additional news, we send them additionally to the newsletter. A lot of our investors are in the Facebook group. We see that by the views of our posts. We are quite active in Facebook. We recently created a LinkedIn account because a lot of investors were asking how to find us there. As concerns Swapper blog, correct me if I'm wrong. It's also once per month, right?
Not yet. So we have recently started to write again blogs. So we had already this month blog. So the pace is to have at least one post per
Nice
month.
to hear.
So
As concerns Vandu Finance Group website, we created as in the beginning as a visit part of the company. And at some point we checked that there's like 10 visits per month.
Okay. Then
And
maybe
that's
10
the
from my
reason why it's
computer.
not very maybe. And
The other ones are from my computer.
so, and we have actually the new design and a new website for Vandu Finance Group. But
Alright.
since there were like 10 clicks on the website per month, it wasn't our priority lately. That's for sure is something that we will correct very soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wanted to add something?
I have to add something. First of all, I have to say sorry to the viewers for the sound, because we are here in the hotel lobby, and it's sometimes very noisy, but we had no other chance to make this interview, so sorry for that, but I hope you can still get all the information and the value out of this interview. Second point, you complained about the communication, so how can I help you? I mean, you are now here sitting with the CEO, getting first-hand information,
Yeah, I think
sitting
that's
in
a
my
solution,
interview,
isn't it?
and for the other guys, we have the video, so there is a solution,
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone has to subscribe to our Facebook page to keep up, because we're inserting all the information regarding the lending volume, the investor growth, and also the loans funded. So each month we're doing that, and
On the Facebook,
just on the Facebook.
I
Just
put the link in
subscribe.
the description.
You
Okay.
would prefer Instagram?
I think it's both ways.
Both.
It's good.
Both,
I do
okay.
both.
Okay, so
I for myself prefer Facebook, but I think there are a lot of people on Instagram. Yeah, so maybe we do
We
both.
have an account, so we're gonna start.
Okay, I will put
being
both
more
links in the
active.
description, and then people can follow up this. And as well, people have to subscribe, please, this channel, because then you will also get the first-hand information of the CEO. So this was just sorry for the interruption, but
Sure.
Yeah.
The last question from my block of questions now would be, I'm kind of a numbers guy, and I would like to see more statistics published on Swapper itself. So, like registered investor growth, or how their
So if you would be in the
Yeah.
Facebook,
Yeah.
You would know that.
you would know that. But,
Okay.
well, actually, since we haven't been able to publish financial statements and we
Yeah.
have a lot of questions from investors,
Yeah.
we are now collecting information about at least some temporary solution or statistics that would help like to be more transparent, at least in terms of statistics and more numbers that would be available to the investors. We are almost done with the process, I think. And we will be adding something on the platform, something on our blog, and still keep like giving the main numbers on Facebook and maybe Instagram.
Okay, because the number of investors, that's always something the platforms pride themselves with. That's what they want to show.
It's not the story about us. Since our loan volumes were quite steady and not growing very fast, we didn't see a point to attract more investors, and that was an actual decision, nothing else. So we cannot brag with a growing count of investors in the past, but we will start to do that soon. So.
Okay, cool.
Well,
Happy to hear that.
Well, this year our goal is 3,000 active
Investors. Yeah.
So the number is published also on our website, but not under statistics, but under about section.
Okay.
okay,
you
cool. We
can
will
see,
check this
yeah.
out. Super. And of course, also the website link is also in the description for the people that just want to check this out right now. They will look at this. Okay, great. So I think we already covered really a lot of information and value in this interview. Thank you so much for that. Maybe one last question. How do you see the future? I mean, already we covered a lot of that in the interview, but maybe we talked a lot about the future of the company right now, but how do you see the future of P2P lending in general?
Well, it's booming, but it probably depends on regulation. There are some crowdfunding directives. So will it cover also some part of what peer-to-peer market is doing or not? Hard to say. Probably should see the last version of it, but the industry is booming and it's growing. At some point, it could stop if we're talking about crisis that. The rumors that you can hear lately, to be honest, if the platform works with the payday lending or loans, crisis usually influence the lending part, not in a bad way, but opposite, because people need money, they take it, so lenders are not the ones who has any issues in that period. So I would say that steady growth for us as well, finally. We are moving in the same direction.
Okay. Good to hear.
Cool. Yeah. I think you already have more than half an hour. It's crazy, but time is just running in this great interview and these great talks and first-hand information. So thank you so much for that. And now we go back, I think, to our viewers. I hope this was also a value for you and we helped you maybe on a decision, but we are also looking forward to exchange. What are your ideas about that? How is your feeling about the platform? I think it's really important to learn from each other. Yeah? And so just write it down in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. And do we have to add anything else? Do I forget anything?
Thank you for your time.
Yes.
Yeah, then
thank you for coming.
Thank you for everything. Thank you so much for your time and the good communication. And yeah, thank you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.